What if the one thing you never think about, your own breath, suddenly becomes all you can think about? The rhythm of your lungs, in and out, is no longer yours. Someone else is changing the tempo, introducing a subtle dissonance. You feel a creeping unease, as if the air itself has turned against you. This isn't a story about obvious violence. It's about something far more insidious. The weapon was invisible, odorless, essential, the air. The crime scene was an entire habitat. The victims simply faded, their own lungs betraying them. On Mars 2026, inside the domes of Ares Prime Colony, every breath is a gift of engineering. We trust the technology, the corporations, the contracts that guarantee our survival. But what happens when that trust is quietly broken? When the system meant to keep us alive becomes the instrument of our demise? This is a case file from the shadows of progress, where the future was almost unmade. We won't show you faces or violence. The horror is in the method. It's in the calm, calculated precision. The most terrifying threats don't scream. They whisper in the hum of the life support system, waiting for you to take your next breath. And then, everything changes. The call came at Aero 4:30, Mars time. A missed shift, no answer, a wellness check. Security found Elias Vance in room 417, lying peacefully in bed. No struggle, no forced entry. The coroner said cardiac arrest. Tragic, but not suspicious. But the medic noticed a faint blue tint. Cyanosis, a sign of oxygen deprivation. Environmental sensors showed normal oxygen levels. The air was safe. The anomaly was logged and forgotten until a week later, another death, same symptoms, different sector. Both victims lived in habitats managed by Omni Air, the colony's main life support provider. The medic cross-referenced files, saw the pattern, and went to his superior. The system said the air was good. The body said otherwise. The investigation began, not with alarms, but with a quiet question. What's in the air? 2 deaths, 2 sectors, 1 impossible similarity. The contradiction was buried in paperwork, but it was enough to start digging. And so the hunt began. To understand the crime, you must understand Ares Prime, a corporate colony, not a nation. No citizens, only employees. Life is a subscription, housing, food, water, air, all provided by contract. 2 companies dominate life support, Omni Air, the giant, Ares Vitae, the upstart. Competition is fierce, fought in server rooms and maintenance tunnels. Law is a patchwork of bylaws and arbitration. There's no real court, only fines and lost contracts. The system regulates commerce, not murder. A crime like this, subtle, systemic, was unimaginable. The law could see a broken contract, not a broken body. Corporations held the keys to survival. Step out of line, and you're exiled back to Earth. People learned not to notice anomalies. They trusted the system because the alternative was unthinkable. In this world, trust is survival, and trust is easily broken. The perfect environment for a perfect crime. No one saw it coming, until it was too late. The alveoli system, Mars' mechanical lungs, remade the air, recycling every breath. Each habitat had a central unit, monitored by AI, adjusting oxygen and pressure with precision. The system was foolproof, with redundancies and fail-safes. But its vulnerability wasn't in hardware or software, it was in the human interface. Regular updates came as encrypted data packets from Omni Air or Ares Vitae. A technician would upload the packet. The system trusted it. It never considered a packet might contain a malicious command. Not a virus, but a subtle tweak, a command to introduce a new compound, undetectable by standard sensors, something that wouldn't lower oxygen, but would prevent the body from using it. The machine was perfect. The people who programmed it were not. Trust was the weakest link, and someone exploited it. The investigation team, more used to lost tools than murder, sealed the data logs and scoured weeks of sensor readings. The air was cleaner than Earth. The machines swore innocence. Autopsies revealed nothing, until cellular analysis showed the victims' cells were starved of oxygen. They suffocated from the inside out while breathing. The breakthrough came from a junior analyst, combing maintenance logs. He found a single data packet, uploaded to both affected sectors, time-stamped weeks before the first death. It carried a forged digital signature, almost perfect. Someone had disguised a malicious update as routine maintenance. The investigators now knew how it was done, but not what the packet did or who was behind it. The ghost in the machine had a shape, but no name. The search narrowed. The stakes rose. The air itself was the weapon, and the killer was still out there, somewhere in the vents. The forged packet was a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. It told the alveoli system to synthesize a new compound, hemalock. Odorless, colorless, invisible to sensors, hemalock entered the bloodstream like oxygen, but it bound to hemoglobin, blocking oxygen transport, 200 times stronger than oxygen itself. The effect was slow and cumulative. Each breath made the victim weaker. Fatigue, headaches, shortness of breath, diagnosed as stress. The final stage, silent hypoxia. The body shut down, quietly. Victims died in their sleep or reading or watching a projection. They died breathing air rich with useless oxygen. The sabotage was a perfect alibi, written into the chemistry of life. The crime was not just murder, it was making the body complicit. No alarms, no struggle, just a gentle fading away. The perfect crime, hidden in every breath, and no one saw it coming. The sabotage sent a wave of fear through the colony. The horror wasn't the death toll, it was the nature of the crime. This was a business decision, not a crime of passion. Eris Vitae was implicated, a lead bioengineer traced to the forged packet. The motive, discredit Omniair, seize market share. The legal system, built on contracts, collapsed under the weight of the crime. Trust in life support systems evaporated. Paranoia spread. Residents bought black market air testers, watching vents with suspicion. Breathing became an act of faith in a system that had failed. The true horror, the crime poisoned trust, not just bodies. If air could be weaponized, what about water, food, pressure? Survival was a commodity, and the consumer was always vulnerable. The most terrifying prison is one where you can't trust your own breath. And on Mars, that prison was everywhere. The case never went to trial, just a corporate arbitration in a windowless room. Evidence was data, not testimony. The language was liability, not justice. Eris Vitae was found guilty of sabotage, their license revoked, assets seized. Executives and engineers were exiled to Earth, stripped of contracts. No mention of murder, just consequential damages. Families received settlements calculated by algorithm. The system corrected itself. New encryption, stronger firewalls. The colony moved on, but fear lingered. The crime was punished as unfair competition, not as murder. The market's sanctity outweighed the value of life. The lesson learned, build a better firewall, not a better conscience. The ghosts of the victims were written off as business expenses, and the system endured. We build systems to protect us, laws, machines, contracts. But systems are run by people, and people are flawed. The alveoli system did what it was told. The flaw was in us. This wasn't just a Martian anomaly, it was a warning. When survival is a commodity, murder can be a line item. The files are unsealed, the data public, the guilty known. The corporate structures remain, more powerful than ever. History may judge, but for now, the verdict is yours. You've seen the evidence, understood the method, felt the implications. The question isn't just about Mars, it's about here, now. Look at the systems you trust, the networks, the services, the air you breathe. Who owns them, and what's to stop them from changing the terms? Sometimes, late at night, I catch myself listening for the hum of the air system, wondering if it's always been there, or if I just started noticing. Maybe the real warning is how easily we forget to question what sustains us, until the silence reminds us to pay attention. What systems do you trust without a second thought?